You are live, Commissioner. The floor is yours.
Thank you kindly, Sierra. Okay, so we'll call this programming committee meeting to order. We do have a quorum, and that would be Fred Perry, Rick Martin, myself. Rick, is there anybody else a part of this programming committee that I'm missing? I know we're missing Commissioner Carthen. I'm sorry. Oh, and Phyllis. That's right, and Phyllis. And we're missing Commissioner Carthen. Yes. Thank you kindly. So please make note of that in the minutes, that we're only missing Commissioner Carthen at this moment, and she might show up a little bit later, but at this current time, we're missing her. But we do have a quorum. And with that, Rick, let me back up. Did everybody get a chance to read the minutes of the last meeting? And if so, are there any changes or any corrections or anything need to be adjusted on the minutes?
Yes, Commissioner, and no changes.
No changes. Got it.
Sir.
So with that being stated, we'll say the minutes are stand approved. Let's see here. So Rick, I'll toss it to you so you can kind of go ahead with the agenda.
Yes, sir. Thank you, and good morning, Committee Chairman Mitchell and Mr. Perry and Ms. Banks. We beginning with business discussion. First item we have is the control room booth and studio renovations update. Commissioner Mitchell, I could tell you that thanks to you and the Board of Commissioners, we're able to move forward. Right now, we have a vendor application being filled out by Amatrace. They have visited and done a examination of clearing, and we've also had a visit by Mr. Mark Price for facilities and some concerns that were raised. And I don't want to steal any further thunder, so I want to toss over to Ms. Banks, who is part of the meeting regarding the fire marshal and stuff.
Good.
Good morning, Commissioner Mitchell, Mr. Perry, and everyone else. Because of the fire marshal concerns that we took note of with the fire marshal, we had Mr. Price come in and take us forward. Commissioner Mitchell, you know how we have this this grid of lights that are over the up above in the studio. Some of the wires are wrapped around the sprinkler system pipes, so we need to do something about that once we start to move towards renovation and replacing those lights. We have to make sure no wires are covering those particular pipes or anything blocking the sprinklers. Another item is fixing an exit light. Going out the back door of the studio. It needs to be repaired. And we also have to remove the foam off of the walls in here and come up with, and I think we've discussed this before when we did the walkthrough about determining what will be a better way to control sound or, avoid sound coming through when we're doing recording. Mr. Price will work with us as we work through the renovation process. And he's also asked that we work closely with the contractor to make sure that these items are taken care of. It was a list of 7 items. So we're going to work with Mr. Price. We're going to work closely with the contractor, and we're also going to continue to work closely with the fire marshal to make sure these things are properly taken care of before we get heavily into the renovations.
So just one quick question. So these things are to include, what about, I'll ask this other question. So what about the handicap accessibility? I think that was part of some of the things that came down as well.
That was a part of one of the items, but we foresee a flat surface. We haven't gotten the design for the studio yet. We haven't gotten to the design part of the studio. So that platform may be coming out and we will move to a flat surface. That is one of
Okay.
the- we're looking
And to add to this, I know Fred and I have had a couple of conversations. Okay, so addressing all of this, who will address this? Will it be the contractor at an additional cost, or would it be just kind of what we do with these guys who are going to build this out?
the items that we've mentioned to you this morning will be on the contractor. That's not part of the scope of work for the contractor. So it will we'll work with Mr. Price to find out the best options and present that to you at that time.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, and Fred, please jump in. So are you telling me that the wiring for the studio, not wiring it around, which I'm kind of baffled that we would wire anything around a sprinkler system, would not be already a part of the scope of work? Or are you saying that's in addition to, if I'm hearing you correctly, just that one item just alone?
That one item alone, and what it is that we have to avoid any wires wrapping around the sprinkler system pipes. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm actually saying, though. Who would actually build out anything that would wrap wires around?
right, that's what we will not do. So when we go to the new lights, that is one thing that they are not going to be able to do, is to do that. But right now, that's what we currently have. So we're going to move from that type of wiring, making sure it's not on the sprinkler pipes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
just wants to make sure.
Ms. Banks, hold on one second. Okay. Fred, can you help me with this?
Yeah, so I think what Phyllis is saying is that should be cost neutral. That when they do go to
Yes.
rebuild, they will not move forward with wires wrapped around any poles or anything like that, or any pipes. But the other points that the fire marshal has, and from what I saw, what I heard you say, Phyllis, is that um, right now we don't have a final design, but part of that design would be a flat stage. So it wouldn't necessarily need the handicap accessibility changes, because it'll be on the floor, correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay, so if that changes, then we'll have to
Yes, sir.
at that time.
Yes, sir.
The others, Commissioner Mitchell, Phyllis and I have had conversation about this, about who would be responsible. Would that involve any price changes or anything like that? I have yet to have a conversation with Mark Price, but it looks like what the fire marshal has in here are fairly easy fixes. That look like they're too difficult, but I'm going to actually go into the studio before we leave for Savannah to just do another walkthrough to check these things off and make sure that we have a plan for each one of the 7 points that the marshal has pointed out.
Great, great. And the reason I'm asking, as you know, Mr. Perry, you and I have had this conversation about like where this cost, if it's going to be a cost, how much of a cost, in addition to if that's the case. But these sound nominal. You know, if anything, again, like I was stating earlier, why would you even wrap a wire around a sprinkler system anyway? So,
yeah. It probably happened over the course of time, Commissioner. You know, we've got a lot of things going on in the studio that probably shouldn't be there. But,
yes.
You know, just over time, yeah.
Yeah. And so in-house, what this looks like in-house if we decide to do it, and if this is part of the contractor, if we want to call it scope of work. I know this could be an addition too, though. If that's the case, then let's find out what that is so we can kind of know how to move forward. But let's not let this slow it down or stop the movement of this particular project, though.
Absolutely. Okay. So yeah, we'll do a walkthrough. Phyllis, I'll touch base with you when I get into the courthouse, and we'll just physically look at the items. I'm looking at the 7 bullet points that the fire marshal pointed out, and we'll make sure that we have a fix for each one of them.
Sounds good. Okay, sounds great. Anything in addition to that, Ms. Banks?
No, sir, and I please apologize if I wasn't very clear, but thank you for the opportunity to speak. Thank you, sir.
You got it. No, not a problem. Thank you again. Okay. Rick, anything else to add to this particular item?
No, other than I think this is a great way to, for us to start and really make sure everything is done correctly.
Agreed.
So we appreciate that.
Okay, just one last thing here too, though. So are we still on schedule? Are we still on budget? I mean, are all those things being addressed along the way?
As of right now, I believe yes. Nothing has occurred to defray us off schedule right now. To my knowledge, the vendor application is being completed, and we're waiting to receive that from the vendor. I can tell you that the quotes have been turned over to Sherry Mathis, who's managing, the paperwork coming from ARPA funds, where, a requisition will be put in and then a purchase order would be created. Those are the steps that we are in the middle of right now at this moment.
Got it. Okay. Just want us to make sure we stay focused. And last but not least, so the studio downstairs. I'm sorry, somebody was saying something?
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. And so the studio downstairs, are we clear with that being in the event that, somewhere down the road, we decide to move this all to a different studio because we decide to make that move that potentially is on the horizon? Are we making sure that the build out make note of that? So it's movable, mobile, or whatever we decide to kind of do, or is it going to be permanently installed? Or help me with that. I know we had this conversation, when we were downstairs walking on the walkthrough, but Fred or anybody want to jump in and tell me that?
Well, Commissioner, I'll start and say that, we're going off of what he told us in our initial walkthrough, that, about to point out that it's a very real possibility that we will be leaving the courthouse,
right?
Possibly, next 3 to 5 years or so. And he made mention that all of this stuff will be portable.
Okay.
In our continued conversations with Armatrice, we'll make sure that that's the case. To remind him that, it's a possibility we could be leaving. We want to make sure that this studio and all of the equipment therein can be transported to a new location.
Good.
Yeah. Mr. Perry's on point. I remember hearing the same thing, Deputy Administrator Perry. So that's what we were told.
Okay. Just let's not lose focus on that end. And, when we get down the road a year, 2 or 5, and then we end up can't because, but okay. All right. As long as that's, within the scope of what we're dealing with. So that's okay though. So, all right, I'll leave it there. So anything else, Mr. Martin, on this?
No, sir. Just we're continuing the, programming. Not the programming, but, the weekly updates for programming. I hope those are meeting your expectations with updates.
Oh, yes. I think the board I think we're pleased.
Okay.
That's where we are. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I have nothing else. To offer.
Okay. Well, I'll just got one little thing I want to add to the agenda. And Fred, you probably know a little bit about this. We've been meeting with the Animal Control Advisory Board and Director, and Rick, we're trying to come up with some type of programming that we can identify and promote and brand the animal control department that we got there, and how well and what great jobs they're doing down there, and all the interesting things that's going on, and the rebranding of the logo and all that good stuff. But with that, we're trying to put together some form of a 2-minute program, 5-minute program that would address and identify and they're trying to put it together. So I'm talking very general, that it could be a once a month type of a taping or twice a week. Not sure, but once we kind of put it all together, we want to kind of do that to help promote the greatness of what's happening with the Animal Control and Advisory Board and what they're doing. And it may require some additional recordings of some sort, with either the director or myself and a few others. So I just want to put that on everybody's radar. So if we start going in that direction, that you guys are, kind of prepared. So if we do, and we'll figure out kind of what that looks like when we get down the road, though. So Fred, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, that actually would be great, Commissioner Mitchell. It goes right in line with what I've been talking with Vanessa about. She's in the process of rebranding the department, making it more accessible and friendly to the Douglas County and greater public. So, that's part of her intent in reshaping the actual logo for the animal services rather. A short program of some sort would be great to help further that effort for her. So, yeah, I haven't talked to her about it though, but in my conversation with her, I'll see what's on her mind, and maybe Vanessa and myself and Rick, we can sit down and have a conversation and start to, just come up with some early draft of what she's what she's thinking and what direction she wants to go in.
I've met with her a couple of times. And well, at least the chairman of the board, of the Animal Advisory Board. So I met with her and at least one of the players there, on that, one of the members. And so we supposedly be meeting, Fred, I think, I want to say that this week or next week, but and Sherelle could probably tell when that meeting is, when it's going to happen, but I'll make sure we pull you in so we can kind of really talk it through. And then somewhere down the road, Rick, I think we'll pull you in and Phyllis to kind of make sure, like, how does it work? How will we work through this? Would it be one of those Animal Advisory Board, on the minute meeting, on the minute recording of some sort?
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds like an exciting opportunity.
Yeah. But I think what they're doing down there is it needs to be branded and noted that this is really some great things that are happening and our animals are well taken care of. And we need to tell our story and make sure we tell our narrative versus someone else trying to tell us how bad we are down there. But I'll say this, that, like I said, Fred and I have been going through a couple of their meetings, and they've been very productive, and they've done some great things down there, to include a couple of the commissioners have actually did a month or outing down there and raised several dollars to help with the animals and vaccination and all that good stuff. So, but again, I just think it's something that we probably should try and program and again, tell our narrative than to have someone else tell it and tell and give the wrong story, the wrong narrative. So,
Got it.
Okay,
Correct.
Okay. Sherelle, I don't know. I think Sherelle is on the line. Sherelle, do you know when that meeting is, so we can share it with Fred?
Yes, Commissioner. So are you referring to the one that you will be speaking to Miss Yvonne Shaw as well, the Animal Control Outreach?
Yes.
Okay, so that's tomorrow at 9:30, and I'm sorry, 9 o'clock, and I can forward over the invite.
Okay, look, if you'll forward that over to Fred, so he can kind of chime in with us, and Rick, we'll once we kind of put it together, kind of what we think it should look like or sound like, and all that good stuff. Then we'll, because I don't want to waste your time in meetings of meetings, So
I understand. I understand and respect that, sir. Yeah, absolutely, It makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, because I know you guys got enough to do than me having you in another meeting. So.
And Commissioner Mitchell, Sherelle, is that meeting virtual or is that in person?
It will be via Zoom.
Oh, via Zoom, okay.
Yes, sir, in the morning. I'm actually forwarding over the link to you right now.
Thank you.
Okay. And that way, Fred, we can just kind of hear them out and talk it through and make some suggestions and all that good stuff. And then we'll start bringing in Rick and Ms. Banks as to kind of, what that looks like on DC TV 23. So. Okay.
Sounds good. Yes, absolutely.
All righty. What else we have though, Rick? Anything else?
Well, exciting to share. At a meeting yesterday, as you know, with the fire department, and we had with the fire department staff in regards to your
Yes.
the fire truck and
Mhm.
seniors event. So we've got the date nailed down and looking to work with that. We did have I wanted to be clear on something. We were producing the save the date flyer
Mhm.
where we were ready to distribute it, but received word from the fire department via email late last night that they wanted to do it. And
They want to do what though? What do you mean? They don't want to do that date?
They wanted to produce the save the date flyer.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to, we were excited to do it based on the meeting or what have you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know if I wanted to get your input.
Okay. So why don't you forward what you got that is already done and let them see what that is? Because really we want them to, lead the charge, and we just gonna kind of do we'll fill in what we need to fill in. But yeah, so let them see what you got and say, hey, here's what I've done, but tell me what you want to add, take away, or if you want to just fully take the lead. But what I don't want to see us do is waste too much time, because that date is fast approaching. And I don't want so I don't want to, waste too much time, of trying to recreate the wheel. So talk to the chief, and if you would keep Fred and Sherelle involved in it so they can kind of help and assist, because it's really about them. This is all about them. We're just trying to support and get the audio and visual side of this, so to the general public, so they can know when it's going to happen and how it's going to happen and who's involved. And I think the programming side of it, I think Sherelle has put together with the rest of the team a decent program, which, like I said, it shouldn't take no more than 30 minutes of that. Right. The standing around eating wings and all the other stuff will take more time than the actual program. So
I got you.
But yeah, so I would definitely try to keep them moving and moving forward, because we need to kind of at least market this and put it out for the general public. Not that we want thousands to be there based on the COVID situation, but I know protocol has changed a little, but I mean, we just want to make sure that people know about it and they can experience it by coming, or they can go to DCTV 23 and watch it once we put it on there as well. So.
Okay. Right.
Gotcha. Anything else? Okay. Anything else to add to that, Fred and Sherelle?
Well,
yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Fred.
Go ahead.
A really quick, Commissioner, you was referring to the program. So I did have a call with Chief Joe Levette on yesterday, and he said that he was getting with Dr. Gilchrist and Tam, and he'll have me a program by the top of next week for me to look over and review and get with you and see what you think. So what I'll do, I can just forward that over to Rick as well, so that he can have a bird's eye view of what's going on.
Absolutely. And make sure these guys are moving, expeditiously, because it's really, that timing will approach us pretty quickly. And I want to make sure we did all the marketing we can do to make sure that we tell our story, that this is what's going on and this how well it's going to be and what we're doing. Okay, thank you, though, Sherelle. Fred, you was getting ready to say?
Yeah, I was going to say that. Thanks for that, Sherelle. About Sherelle mentioned the program, and that the chief was ironing out the program. So we just need to say today, Rick, mute yourself, Rick.
If you were going to be a part of it,
Rick,
this morning.
So we were Sherelle was talking about the program. We need the date flyer to go out sooner than later.
Yes,
that's not something that needs to take until next week. We probably need that out by the end of the week, so it'll be a solid 2 weeks before that. Before that actual program. So I'll touch bases with Chief and just let them know that the save the date flyer needs to go out by week's end.
And listen, the save the date is just that, save the date.
That's it.
It don't need to be so crafted and well designed and graphics and all this other good stuff. We need that save the date As simple as that. Save the date. This is what's going to happen on this particular date, and that's really it. So
That's
I
it.
don't want to put too much energy in save the date.
Right. Exactly.
So that needs to be on our little what's that thing out in front of the courtyard the courthouse, we got that thing out there.
Right.
The prism.
Yes. Yeah. So we need to, it should be out there. It should be sent to the Sentinel. Now whether they run it in the Sentinel and all that good stuff, okay. But save the date is just that. Just save the date, and this is the program. This is kind of what we're going to be doing. Just enough to entice them to try to be a part of it or come down and see it or witness this. And other than that, this is the date. Save it. That's it.
Yep. That's it.
Mr. Perry, we'll send you what we've created already. We completed the save the date yesterday. So we will send that to you so you can get your eyes on it and give us permission to go ahead and move forward with at least that portion of the marketing.
Okay. And I respect Chief, however he wants to handle the actual marketing. If he wants to get the schedule together, obviously he needs to weigh in heavily on the schedule, and possibly if he wants to do the press release, he can, that's fine if he wants to handle that. I respect his position to do that, but the save the date, much to what Commissioner said, we don't need to spend a lot of time on that. Just send that out and let that be on the electronic board out front. And,
Yes.
And then we would have started the entire process. So I'll touch base with the Chief today and let him know that we want that out by Friday.
Cool. Sounds good. Sounds wonderful. Okay. Did we miss anything, guys? Well, I'll just say great productive. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Commissioner, you missed me. I'm sorry. I just.
So you made it. We were trying to find you, so we sent out a smoke signal. I don't know if you saw it.
Thank you so much. I apologize, but I just got the link, but no problem. Carry on.
Okay, cool beans. Thank you for showing up, rather. Okay, so guys, is there anything else? And I'll say to you, Commissioner Carthen, do you have anything to add, or I don't know how much you've been on, or how long you've been on, or what you kind of?
No, nothing to add. Nothing.
Okay. Okay. All right, guys. So on that note, if there's nothing else, I guess we'll catch up here soon, and I guess this meeting will stand adjourned. Thank you again.